Got to have my Viva, water but so much better. Got to have my Viva, water but so much better.
Viva sparkling flavored water. Water but better.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening guys, welcome to C Results. I'm Miss Nyla and today you are joining me for English Language Arts and of course creative writing. Welcome to all of our viewers and those of you joining us on our live stream on Facebook by the C Results page or the IBN TV 8 page. Alright, I hope that you're having a great day despite this weather. So guys, we know that we have been doing those SEA practice papers and yesterday we were able to complete just Section 1 and the comprehension passage in Section 2, right? So we're going to pick up where we left off, starting with poetry. So we're going to read the poem, and then we're going to go on to the questions as we usually do. And like our custom, we're going to ask someone to help us read, and then we're going to take some other calls. So the numbers will be on the screen, or to the bottom of the screen very shortly. And those of you who already have our number on speed dial, right, call us now, help us complete this poem, right? Remember what is important about a poem, not only reading it, but of course analyzing the poem, ensuring that you understand fully what the poem is telling you, right? The message that is being sent, the figurative language that is being used, right? Because in a poem, sometimes, you know, the message isn't given directly, and of course we know that sometimes due to the use of figurative language. So you have to ensure that you understand the poem fully before you can answer those questions. And we do have a call on the line, so let's take this call. Good evening, welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Evening.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Good evening.
Good evening. Who am I speaking with?
Aiden.
Hi, Aidan. How are you?
1094. Good.
Okay, Aidan. So can you help us read this poem?
Yes.
All right. So let's get started.
All through the winter, long and cold, their many every morning fed. The little sparrow, bird and bold, and the robins with their breasts so red. She loved to see the little birds come fluttering through the window pane in answered the gentle words with which she scattered crumbs and grain. One robin, bolder than the rest, would perch upon her finger fair, and this of all she loved the best, and daily fed with tenderest care. But one sad morn when Minnie came, her precious little pet she found, not hopping when she called his name, but lying dead upon the ground.
Right, okay, great. So let's go back to the first stanza there. What I want you to do now, I want you to read the first stanza again and tell us what do you understand from that first stanza, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All through the winter, long and cold, their many every morning fed. The little sparrow, bird and bold, and with their breasts so red.
Okay, so
she fed the little sparrow every morning, every winter, through the winter, every morning.
Okay, so what is a sparrow?
A bird.
A bird. And what about a robin?
Another type of bird.
Good. So in this poem, how many different types of birds did we come across?
I could get a few minutes.
Sure.
See?
Sure.
2.
Right, 2. Right, and the line that says, their Minnie every morning fed. Right, what are they saying here? What did she do every morning?
Minnie fed the bird every morning.
Good. The little sparrow, pert and bold. What does that word there, pert, mean? Do you think you know?
I'm not sure.
All right, so pert in this case means attractive or well-shaped little bird, right? A bird, probably that this person had a liking to. So the little sparrow, pert, describing how the bird looked, and bold, meaning how that bird acted as well, very brave, okay, that the bird was able to come around. Sometimes when birds see humans, they are shy and they often fly away. Not this one, okay? Good. So let's move on to that last line. And robins with their breasts so red. What do you think is meant by that line?
The robin's breast is real red, a bright color of red.
Actually, red. That is correct. So let's go on and read the second stanza there.
She loved to see the little birds come fluttering to the window pane in answer to the gentle words with which she scattered crumbs and grain.
Good. So explain that to us.
It means she loved to see the birds that come to a window pane.
Right.
And she fed them with crumbs and grain.
Very good. And she was also gentle to them in her speech, right? So maybe she was calling them or whatever she was saying to the birds, right? In addition to feeding them. Let's go on to stanza 3.
One robin, bolder than the rest, would perch upon her finger fair, and this of all she loved the best, and daily fed with tenderest care.
Right. So what are they saying here?
A particular robin,
right,
that was braver than the rest,
good,
perched on her finger, and she loved him the best because that was the only one that perched on the finger. So she fed it and took care of it with tender care.
Good. But what does that word perch there mean?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
That word perch. So would perch upon her finger. What are they saying there? What does that word perch mean? Or tell us.
Like land on her finger and stay there.
Right. Very good. And go on to that last stanza.
But one sad morn when Minnie came, the precious little pet she found, not hopping when she called his name, but lying dead upon the ground.
Right. Explain that to us.
What?
Go ahead and explain the last stanza to us.
Explain it?
Yes. What does it mean? What do you understand from that last stanza?
A sad morning when she came to the window pane, she didn't see the robin that she usually fed.
Right.
And she found her, and she found the robin lying dead upon the ground.
All right. Who do you think is Minnie in this case? Do you think Minnie is an adult?
A little girl.
A little girl. All right. Thank you so much for all your help. Right.
Okay,
and really good analyzation of that poem there. Right. So you were able to analyze that poem very well and understand, what is being said. So let's go on to the questions. Let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Hello.
Hi. Good evening. Who am I speaking with?
Hello.
Can you hear me, caller? Are you there? Okay, we're having a little trouble hearing this, taking that call. Let's take another call. Again, guys, we do welcome new callers, right? Encourage you to take part in the program, help us answer some questions. It's okay if you don't know 100% what is the answer, all right? We will definitely help you out. That's what we are here for. Let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Aidan.
Hi, Aidan. Aidan, you just called, right?
No.
Okay, all right. My mistake. So, Aidan, help us read number 29.
Okay. Two types of birds mentioned in the poem are a robin and a sparrow.
Very good, right? So that was, you remember that from just reading the poem, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great job, Aidan. Thank you for calling.
Welcome.
Right, and it's in that very first stanza, guys, a little sparrow, pert and bold, and robins with their breasts so red. Right, so even if you didn't know that a sparrow and a robin, they are both birds, right? And after reading this poem in context, you can probably, figure out that. And I hope that you were able to, even if you did not know, for sure. All right, let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Chelsea, again.
Okay, Chelsea, welcome. So help us read number 30, please.
Okay. Two words from the poem which apply to the sense sense of sight are.
Right, so that word there, this little minor error, appeal, okay? So we're looking for two words from the poem which appeal to the sense of sight. All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to skim through the poem. We're going to zoom in there for you. Take your time. We're looking. Can you repeat that?
All through the weather, the winter, long and cold. There might every morning feed the little spread. Peter and Bill, Blood, and Robin with their.
All right, I'm not sure if you see
Present.
this. I'm not sure. Can you see the poem clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, go on.
Present for red. So lovely to see the water bird. Some feathering through the window pane. In answer to the gentle words with which she
Scattered.
She
Scattered crumbs.
scattered crumbs and green. Scattered crumbs and green. And Robin Hilda than the rest. What would pitch up on her finger fat. And this of all she loves the best. And daily feed with tenderest care.
Yes. All right, we're just going to scroll. Just give it a moment. We're going to scroll on there for you. All right, I'm going to zoom in on that last paragraph, please.
But one sad morning, when Miley comes, her
precious
processor little pet she found, not hoping when she called his name, but lying dead upon the ground.
Good. So I'm going back to the question here, which asks two words from the poem which appeal to the sense of sight. So which two words here will you choose that appeals to the sense of sight? And if we can just zoom out, great. Sense of sight has to do with which body part? Are you there, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we're talking about the sense of sight, which body part are we talking about using? That word sight there applies to what?
Yep, inside the body.
Okay, the sense of sight meaning to see. Okay, we are talking about using the eyes. So we're looking for words here that's going to help us, right, or create a visual or a picture, right, for us. So which word here do you think appeals to the sense of sight? That will help us see something from just reading that word. You can imagine it.
Cold and red?
Cold and?
Red.
Yes, the word red. And also you said the word cold, right?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So cold exactly does not appeal to the sense of sight, right? Or rather touch. But some other words here, the word little, the word red, and the word fair, okay?
Fair.
So all of these are words here that appeal to the sense of sight. When you see the word little, what do you think of? Something that is?
Little.
Little or small or tiny even, right? Red here is what?
The color.
A color.
Of something.
And good. And fair. We use the word fair to describe what?
Describe your feeling.
Okay, that is also correct, but according to the poem here, would perch upon her finger fair. Right? So talking about the color of her skin. Okay, so complexion as well. Understand?
Yeah.
So good. So words that appeal to the sense of sight are words that help us to create a visual or a picture in our minds. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, Chelsea, thank you so much for calling.
Okay.
All right, guys, so let's move on to number 31. And of course, those of you, having a little difficulty as well with the different senses, the 5 different senses, please recap, rewatch our video that we did previously based on that, okay? So let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Good afternoon.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Zafira.
Hi, Zafira. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, Zafira, can you read number 31 for us?
Yes. According to the poem, 2 reasons the birds came fluttering to the window pane are...
Right, and I'm going to go to the poem there for you.
I'm reading it.
Sure, take your time.
The 2 reasons are the answer to the gentle words, and they came to eat the crumbs and grains which he scattered.
Of course, that's correct, okay? Right, so thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
Right, so 2 reasons the birds came fluttering to the window pane are they came in answer to her gentle words, and of course they came for the crumbs and grains. Right, let's move on to number 32 and take another call. Good evening, welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? Are you there on the line, caller?
Yes.
Okay, who am I speaking with?
Eden again.
Okay, Aaron, read number 32 for us.
Okay. What is the mood in stanza 4? Give an example to support your answer.
So, of course, my first question here, Aaron, is what does mood mean?
Mood means how the reader feels.
Good. Right, so let's go to stanza 4. We're just going to give it a second there and zoom on stanza 4.
I'm not seeing it as yet.
Okay, let's give it a couple seconds. It's there.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay. So you can read it and then you can tell us.
The mood is depressed.
Depressed, and what will be your evidence there?
But one sad mourn when Minnie came.
Right, and what are possible other evidence there that we can put?
But lying dead upon the ground.
Excellent, right? Thank you for calling.
Welcome.
Right, so the most sad or any synonym along with that, depressed, one sad mourn when Minnie came, or but lying dead upon the ground. Right? And just remember, a reminder, of course, you know that mood and tone are often tested in poetry, if nothing else, so ensure that you know the difference between mood and tone. Right, guys? Let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Kiana Archibald.
Nice to have you with us, Kiana. Can you read number 33 for us?
Okay. What is the meaning of the word... what is the meaning of the word perched as used in the poem?
So I'm going to go to that poem for you, and you can read that line out when you find that line with perch, okay? You can read it aloud. It's line 10, okay?
The meaning of the word perch is to rest upon her finger.
Yes, so the word rest. What other synonym can you give me there for perch? Oh.
Sit.
Yes, that is also correct, right? So thank you for calling. Right, so perch means to sit or to rest. Right? Let's move on to number 34. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
It's Aaron.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Good.
Okay, Aaron, can you read number 34 for us?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Two examples are imaginary imagery from the poem.
Right. So my first question, Aaron, what does imagery mean?
Sight.
Right. Okay, good. So two examples of imagery from the poem are, and of course you can take your time.
You could go back to the poem.
Yes.
Come fluttering to the window pane.
Good. Anything else there?
With sea scattered crumbs and green.
Good. So is that your final answer?
Yes.
Great. Right. So couple of answers here we can actually give. Right. Imagery refers to a visual representation. Right. So all through the winter, long and cold, or the little sparrow, so pert and bold, and robins with their breasts so red, or would perch upon her finger fair. And you also said fluttering to the window pane. Correct?
Yeah.
Right. So that is also correct. Right. And scattered crumbs and green. So thank you, Aaron.
You're welcome.
All right. So let's move on to number 35. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Alex.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hello?
Yes, Alex, can you hear me?
Miss, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me clearly?
No sound.
Alex? Hello, Alex, are you there? All right. Unfortunately, we lost Alex there. Right. How would you describe Minnie? Support your answer with two examples from the poem. Right. So let's go to the poem. In the meantime, I want you to look at what is said about Minnie, or what was said about Minnie. Right. I want you to read those stanzas that mentions Minnie. And then I want you to think about, how can you describe Minnie? What can you say about her? Right, and give us some examples that support that. So let's look at the first stanza there. All through the winter, long and cold, dear Minnie every morning fed the little sparrow pert and bold, and robins with their breasts so red. And then that last stanza again mentions Minnie, where they say, one sad morn when Minnie came, the precious little pets she found, not hopping when she called his name, but lying dead upon the ground. Right, so of course we can say that she spoke to the birds gently. Right, she fed the birds, she allowed the birds to perch on her finger, she loved the birds. She was sad when the bird died, so we can say that Minnie was gentle, she was caring. Any of those adjectives we can use to describe Minnie. Now, whatever adjective you use, you have to ensure that your evidence supports your answer. Right, must make sense. Let's move on to number 36. In your own words, describe what happened in stanza 4. Let's take a call to help us answer this question. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
This is Riaz bin Mohammed.
Hi, Riaz. How are you?
That's me?
How are you?
Oh, yes, I'm good.
Okay, all right. So read number 36 for us.
In your own words, describe what happened in stanza 4.
Right, so I'm going to go to stanza 4. I would like you to read stanza 4 out loud, please.
Okay. Okay. But one sad morn when Minnie came, the precious little pet she found was not hopping when she called his name, but lying dead upon the ground.
Good. So going back to that question, I want you to describe what happened in stanza 4 in your own words.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. I
Okay.
want you to describe what happened in stanza 4 in your own words.
Well, in stanza 4, basically what happened is when she got up to go and see the birds, one of the birds that I guess, as I would say, was close to her, she found dead.
Right.
Unresponsive then.
Okay, great. Right, so when Minnie went to feed the birds one morning, she found her favorite robin dead. Right?
Yeah.
Or her favorite bird died. Any of those will be correct. Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, bye. All right, moving on to number 37. Let's take a call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Good afternoon.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Alex.
Okay, Alex, can you read number 37 for us?
I'm sorry, but the question is not up on my screen, please, yet.
Okay, give it a couple seconds and you'll see it.
Okay. Okay, it's on the screen now.
Okay.
What do you think caused the bird to die? Support your answer with evidence from the poem.
Good, so I'm going to go to the poem there.
Okay, I can see the poem now.
Okay, all right. So you can take your time and look through it.
All through the winter, warm and cold, their Minnie every morning fed little sparrow, pert and bold, and robins with their so red. From that first stanza,
Yes.
I would say that the winter and the coldness killed the bird.
Yes, I agree with that answer, right? Right, so the bird probably froze to death because the poem says it was a long and cold winter, right? So that was a very good guess. So thank you so much for calling.
Okay.
Right, and of course that answer was correct. And the final question to wrap up this poem. Good evening, welcome to See Results. All right, let's try another call there. In the meantime, let's read the question. Do you think people should take care of animals? Give a reason for your answer. All right, and I do have a call. Good evening, welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Who am I speaking with?
Alex again.
Okay, Alex, tell us, do you think people should take care of animals?
Yes, I do think so.
Okay, tell us why.
Because most of the animals in this world are very important
All right.
to the environment, and without them, some of us wouldn't be able to live.
All right, good. Or we can, so that is also correct. And of course, guys, we know that your answers here can vary, right? So thank you so much for calling, Alex. Right, another possible reason, because they are part of God's creation or because animals are important in our lives, just as Alex mentioned. Right, so that brings us to the end of our poetry, and now we are left with the last task, which is the graphic. Right, so we have to zoom in here a little bit. I do hope you can see this. If not, I'm going to definitely help you read it. Right, and maybe if we try to zoom in a bit more, let's see if we can see that. And actually, it's a little bit blurry, so I'm going to read it to you guys. Or maybe I'm going to give somebody a chance, and let's see if they can read the text. Right, so I'm going to hold on there a couple seconds for a call. What I want you to do in the meantime, I want you to pay attention to the graphic that is given here. Right now, when we're looking at a graphic, there are several things that we are keeping in mind. So we're looking at the font. We're looking at the content, of course. We're looking at any illustrations if provided. We're looking at the layout. We're looking at the style of it, if any colors used, any detail, as a matter of fact, right? As it pertains to the graphic, we must pay attention to. When we are analyzing a graphic, we pay attention to each and every detail, as we know that these details are key in answering these questions. All right, let's see if this caller can help us read. Good evening, welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
This is Aaron.
Okay, Aaron, are you able to see that text there for the graphic?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So can you help us read it through?
Okay. I already see the words clearly.
All right. So, well, should I read it then?
Huh?
I'm going to go ahead and read it if that's okay then, if you're not seeing it clearly.
Okay, well, I can see a few words.
All right. So that first word there says Achievers Elementary School.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
Achievers Elementary School. Free child game available.
Free child care available.
Register by, I can't see the word after
All right.
by.
Okay, Aaron, hold on a second there. You can probably stay on the line to answer the first question, but I would like to read it through, okay, so that everyone understands what we are reading.
Okay.
All right, just for the sake of this graphic in particular. Right, so Achievers Elementary School, free childcare available. Register by August 12th at Achievers Elementary or at gmail.com. Free event, walk-ins welcome. And in the circle to the center here, we have Thursday, September 20th, Tuesday, September 25th, Internet Safety, 2-part series. Right, Thursday 20th, lecture on dangers children face online from 6 to 7 p.m. Tuesday 25th, we have demonstration how to install protective software on tech devices. That takes place from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Parents, bring your smartphones, computers, and tablets. Right, event sponsored by Cybercrime Unit of Trinidad and Tobago and PTA of Achievers Elementary School. Right, and I'm going to take a couple of seconds here to explain what's happening. So we know that, Aidan, are you on the line?
Yes.
Okay, Aidan, great. So you were listening all along, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so from this, tell us, what do you think this graphic is all about?
It is about, it's to inform the public about being safe while using the internet.
All right, okay. Anything else?
It's about the dangers people could face.
Good. And what about, why are they saying Achievers Elementary School, free childcare available? What is this about? The dates given were Thursday 20th and Tuesday 25th. What are those dates for?
The registration. No, that is like what they're doing on those dates.
Right, good. And we have also register by August 12th here, okay?
Yes.
And they did put in some contact information. They use an email address in this case. And then they went on to say it's a free event, so you can walk in and you are welcome to do so. Right? And then they give a little bit of information what will take place on Thursday the 20th, right, which is a lecture on dangers children face online, and that takes place between the hours of 6 to 7 p.m., right? And also we should know that it's an internet safety, a 2-part series. And then I should mention that on the first part, right, on the 20th of, on the 20th, that's the lecture on dangers children face online, and the second part of the series, which is on Tuesday the 25th, is a demonstration how to install protective software on tech devices, right? And what do they mean by demonstration there?
That they're showing you how to do it.
Excellent, right? So why would they say parents bring your smartphones, computers, and tablets?
Because they'll have to use that to demonstrate how to install protective software.
Good, right? To do the actual demonstration. And then they went on to say event sponsored by Cybercrime Unit of Trinidad and Tobago. Right, so that's the person who probably funded the event or whatever it is in this case, and PT of Achievers Elementary School. Right, so let's go to the first question there, Aidan. What is the purpose of the flyer?
The purpose of the flyer is to inform the public to attend the internet safety class.
That is correct. Right, so thank you, Aidan, for calling.
Welcome.
Right, so the flyer is to invite readers to a 2-part series on internet safety, and if you wish to elaborate on this, that's fine, breaking down, what the 2 events are. Just know that that is not entirely necessary, right? This is just the purpose here of the flyer. You can give us straightforward just like that. All right, going on to number 40 there, let's take a call. Good evening, welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Samia.
Hi, Samia. Can you read number 40 for us?
Using
Just give it a second. We're going to
monthly?
zoom. Yes.
Use.
Can you see it now?
No.
All right.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, explain now.
Uh-huh.
Using details to support your answer, who do you think will be interested in this event?
Right. So,
I think parents and caregivers as well as parents and caregivers would be interested in this event.
excellent. That's correct. Okay. Thank you for calling. So parents and teachers, caregivers even, or anyone who looks after children will most likely be interested in this event, as it is to inform attendees about dangers children face online. Right? So let's move on to the next question there. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Hello?
Hi, caller. Welcome to C Results. You are live with us. Are you there?
Hello? Hello?
Call, are you there? Okay, we lost that call. So let's read number 41 in the meantime. According to the flyer, 2 things that are being done to encourage people to attend the event are, so here the question is asking us to identify 2 things or list 2 things, that are being done to encourage people to attend the event. All right, so in the meantime, let's go to the flyer here. And let's take a call to get this answer. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Alex.
Okay, Alex, tell us, what are 2 things here that they are doing to encourage people to attend this event?
Can you please go up to the graphic?
Sure.
I think I've got one of my answers.
Which is?
That is a free event.
Good. And what else?
That free childcare is available.
Well, actually, that's what the school is about. So it's a free event. And also, the second answer, so yes, so the event is free, childcare is free, and also you can register before, and you can walk in. Right, so just going back here. So it's a free event. You can also walk in, even if you did not register to come to the event. You can just walk in on the day if you decide to join. And we know that childcare is free. Right, so great job there. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to question 42. All right, why are parents...
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking
Hello?
with? Good evening, caller. You're live with us. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Hello?
Okay. I am here.
Can you hear me? Miss?
Yes.
Hello?
Okay, a lot of feedback going on there, okay? Why are parents asked to bring smartphone, computers, and tablets? Right? And if at the beginning of, when you just read the flyer, and just as we analyzed the flyer, and we did come across this answer, right? So from your first instance of reading the flyer, you should also not only remember the answer, of course, but, you have to go back to the flyer and refer to it, right? But that should already pop up in your mind when they spoke about demonstration. But let's take this call and hear what this caller says. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Good afternoon, Miss.
Hi, good afternoon. Who am I speaking with? Who am I speaking with? Are you there, caller? Okay, so a lot of problems on the lines this afternoon. I don't know if it's the weather, right? Maybe, caller, are you there on the line? All right, so let's just go back to that question. Why are parents asked to bring smartphones, computers, and tablets? Right, simply because they're asked to do so because there will be a demonstration on how to install protective software on tech devices. So therefore, you will need your device in order to do the demonstration. Right? And finally, internet safety is written in big, bold letters. Do you think this was a good decision? Give a reason for your answer. All right, let's take this final call for number 43. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. Welcome to the program. Who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Hi, good evening.
I do think it's a good decision because it can catch the eye of passers-by.
Okay, great. So catch the attention or captivate the attention of the reader, right? So that's a great answer, and your answer is correct. But can I have your name, please?
Mark Lashley.
Okay, nice to have you with us, Mark. Are you a first-time caller?
Yeah.
All right, okay, great. Welcome to the program, and we are happy to have you, okay? All right, thank you for calling. All right, guys, so final question here. Yes, because it will attract the reader's attention to the main message of the flyer, right? So just as Mark indicated. So that brings us to the end of yet another paper, ELA paper, of course. So we're just going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get started on another one. Stay tuned with us, guys. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, guys. Welcome back to See Results. I'm Miss Nyla, and you're rejoining me for English Language Arts. Right, so we're going to get started on another ELA paper. Right, and let's begin with, of course, section 1, which is spelling. Right, so let's take a call. Let's get someone to help us read this very short passage and then, of course, answer the questions. Right, so let's take a call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Who am I speaking with?
Alex.
Hi, Alex. Welcome back. So, Alex, can you help us read this passage?
Okay. Climate change is called global warming. It refers to the rise in average surface temperatures on Earth. Scientific studies agree that climate change is due primarily to the use of fossil fuels by humans. This releases
Harmful.
I'm sorry, but
You're not seeing the line?
something went wrong with my screen, please. Okay, now it's on.
Okay.
Okay. This releases harmful gases into the atmosphere.
Okay, so help us with number 1 there. Right, we know that spelling is worth 12 marks. We know you are given 1 mark for identifying and underlining the error, and then another mark for giving us the correct spelling. So what is the spelling error in line 1?
Okay, let me just check for it, please.
Sure.
Global.
Good. How should global be spelled?
GLOBAL.
All right. Good job. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
All right. Let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Good afternoon.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Zafira.
Okay, Zafira, help us with number 2 there.
So the word that's spelled wrong is refer. Refers.
Good. How shall it be spelled?
REFERS.
Okay, thank you, Zafira.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
This is the result.
Hi. Are you there, caller?
Hello?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me clearly?
Hello? Oh, sorry. It's just not. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Is this Riaz?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry about that. I was just having a little technical difficulties.
All right. Can you read line 3 for us and give us the incorrect spelling and the correct spelling after?
Yes. Temperatures on Earth. Scientific studies agree. I could just take a second.
Yes, of course.
The error is temperature.
And how should temperatures be spelled?
TEMPRATURES.
Spell that for me again.
TEMPRATURES.
Are you sure about that? Take your time. Take your time. Sound it out.
Oh, wait, sorry, I'm mistaken. For a different word. Sorry, it's TEMPERTURES.
So TEMPER.
TEMPERTURES.
All right, so I'm writing what you are saying, okay? So just look at what you said and see if that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you there is still a spelling error there. You did identify the correct spelling word, right? But temperature is still spelled incorrectly here, right? So you'll have to double check that. But thank you so much for calling, right?
Okay.
So stay tuned to get that correct spelling, of course. All right, let's take another call and see if someone can help us or give us the correct spelling of the word temperatures. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, I'm here for C.
And we lost that one there. I'm going to hold on again. Let's see if we have another call. Right. So, you know, he did give us the correct, or underline the correct spelling error there. So that is 1 mark, right? But guys, be very careful. These are words that you can easily confuse. Simply song it up, break it up into syllables, and that may help you a bit. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Okay, again, once more, I'm not hearing this call.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, miss.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to the program. Who am I speaking with?
Miss?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
Hello? Miss?
Yes.
I can't hear you properly on the phone.
All right. Is your television on mute?
Can you hear me? Huh?
Is your television on mute, caller?
I can't hear you.
All right. And I do apologize. We'll have to take another call, okay? Let's see if I can get another call to help me with this word. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. All right. I guess not. Right. So once more. All right. So temperatures. And number 4 now. That climate change is due primarily to. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Who am I speaking with?
Rochelle.
Nice to have you with us, Rochelle. So what is the error there for number 4?
I can't see it clearly.
Okay. Give it a second. Can you
Hello?
see it? Yes, I'm here. Can you see it now?
Hello? I can hear you.
Wow. Okay, good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Hello? I can hear you.
Hi, welcome to the program. Good evening, caller.
Hello?
Yes, hi, good evening. Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Listen and see if she's on.
Are you there, caller? Okay, for some reason we're having quite some difficulty there with calls.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Welcome.
This is Iran.
Okay, Aidan, help us there with number 4, please.
Okay, can you zoom in?
Sure.
Okay. The climate change is due primarily. Due is spelled wrong. It's supposed to be D-U-E.
All right, and tell me what is the meaning of the word D-E-W? Also
Pardon?
pronounced as due. So due here is D-E-W, and then the correct version will be D-U-E. Right? These are what you call homophones. But what does D-E-W refer to? What is the meaning
Like
of
the
D-E-W?
dew that is fall during the night.
All right, great. Right, so that is correct. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, let's see if we can get another call there for number 5. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller. All right. So I'm going to go ahead as time is passing us by. So due primarily to the use of fossil fuels by humans. This releases harmful gases into the atmosphere. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Hi, good evening. Who am I speaking with?
I'm Mark Lashley.
Okay, Mark, help us with number 5 there.
Okay. You may see those fossil.
Can we just zoom in on the passage, please, guys? So the
Could
error
you repeat
there is
that?
fossil. Is that what you said?
Yeah, fossil.
Right, and give me the correct spelling of the word fossil.
F-O-S-S-I-L.
Great. Mark, will you like to assist us with number 6 as well?
Yeah.
All right. What is the error there?
Harmful thing of gases.
Gases. Right, and how should gases be spelled? Okay, so we do have a call on the line. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Aditya Joseph.
Hi, Aditya. How are you?
I'm okay.
All right, Aditya. So we already identified the error there being gases in that last line. Can you give me the correct spelling of the word gases?
G-A-S-E-S.
Correct. Thank you, Aditya, for your call.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I'm going to pause on the calls for a second. In the meantime, let's go through our spelling. Right? So global should actually spell G-O-B-A-L. So there's no E in global. Right? So this here could just be addition of another letter. right? So somebody here added a letter that's not supposed to be there, right? And second one, refers. In this case, we do not need to double that R, that consonant R, right? Simply just one R, refers. So these are one of the exceptions here. So you need to know how to spell the word refers, right? Again, temperatures. Now we may pronounce the word temperatures just as we see it here, right? So, you know, identifying the error might be one problem, and then giving the correct spelling might be another problem, right? But how can you rectify that? You have to know, of course, the correct spelling of the word temperatures, and then, of course, sounding it out using that, even that clapping syllable. That helps. So temperatures, like that, we have been learning that since the start of school. So we are familiar with breaking up words, using our hands to help us with syllables, right, or sounds there, right? So the word temperatures. And then number 4, dew and dew. So dew here, as you mentioned, right, you know, what that you see on leaves from overnight, right? But in fact, the dew that we want to use here is DUE, right? Like a date when something is due. So the use of fossil fuels, yesterday we learned a lot about fossil fuels, a lot of information was given on that, right? So even if you didn't know the word fossils and you were with us yesterday, we came across that word several times, so probably that was an indicator, a reminder maybe to some of you. And also here, we need to double that letter, that S, that consonant S, as there is a vowel before, right? So F-O-S-S-I-L. And lastly, gases. Again, we're seeing another case here where there's doubling of the consonant, but it isn't required, right? Simply gases, just like refers here, G-A-S-E-S, right? So you have to know when to double your consonants, when not to, so you have to know the exceptions, that is, right? You have to know what to sound out your words, differentiate between homophones, right? Simply knowing the correct spelling of a word, right? So those are some of the tips there that I urge you to, you know, to think about when you are doing your spelling task, right? So that brings us to the end of spelling, and we do have some time, so I'm going to go ahead with punctuation and capitalization, right? So this is task 2. We know that this task is worth 6 marks. You simply have to insert the missing punctuation or capital letter within the passage itself. So let's take a call to help us. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Are you there, caller? Okay, let's try another. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. All right, so we're having quite some difficulty this afternoon. All right, so I'm going to give it a couple seconds, as I do want somebody to help us read here. Right, when you think about the punctuation exercise, we know some of the things that we must be familiar with, or the punctuation marks that we already should have in mind when we are reading this passage. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Are you alive on the program? Again, we are not hearing that caller, right? So I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to read the passage. Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
It's Aaron again.
Okay, Aaron, welcome back. So, Aaron, can you assist us by reading this short passage for us?
Yes, ma'am. Zoom in a little.
Sure, we're just going to zoom in there for you. Let's give it a couple of seconds as we zoom in, and you can begin when you are ready.
A few weeks ago, my school had a function to honor some outstanding students. Among them were Travis Dew and Celine Peters. The program included the following culture items: singing, dancing, and instrumentals.
Good.
The guest speaker, Mr. Tom Henry, made a heartwarming and inspiring speech.
Inspiring speech, okay? Inspiring speech.
Inspiring speech.
Good. So help us there with the first line.
You could go up back.
Sure.
A few ago, my school had a function to do, a comma.
Where?
Goes after ago.
Why is that?
Because because nouns in apposition.
Well, not quite. But you are correct, though. That is the comma, or comma is required there, but that's not the reason, okay? It's actually a dependent clause. But you are correct, okay? And that's what really matters here.
Okay.
So thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Right? So nouns in apposition will be like Cindy, the hairdresser, comma, Cindy, comma. Right? So hairdresser being a noun and Cindy being another noun. Right? And there we'll use commas in between. Right? And let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Good evening,
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Rochelle.
Okay, Rochelle, help us with number 8, please.
I can't see it quite clearly.
Okay, we're just going to zoom in there for you.
Okay. Okay, I get the answer.
Go ahead.
So it's supposed to have a full stop after students
Why is that?
because it's finishing the sentence.
Great. Thank you for calling once again.
Welcome.
Right, let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Can you help us with number 9?
Yes, miss.
Go ahead.
The answer is a full stop. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you zoom up on it, please?
Sure, give it a couple seconds.
A capital P for Peters.
Capital P. Why is that?
Because it's a last name for Cillian.
It's a last
Celine.
name, but more importantly, it's a proper noun, okay?
Yes, miss.
All right, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, so let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Mariah Layton.
Nice to have you with us. Are you a first-time caller?
Hello?
Are you a first-time caller?
Yes, I am.
Okay, welcome to the program. Can
Yes,
you
I am.
help us with number 10?
Okay. The program included the following cultural items: singing, dancing, and a colon after items.
Why am I using a colon here? Why not a comma?
Because that starts a list.
Starts a list. Very good. Thank you for calling. All right, let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results.
It's Aaron again.
Hi, Aaron. Help us with number 11, please.
Number 11 is a full stop.
Okay, so am I going to put the full stop in the box here?
It's a full stop by Mr.
So after Mr., right? So why am I using a full stop there?
Why is that? Because by Mr. it's supposed to be a full stop. It's a contraction.
All right. Also, it's a title, okay? Like similarly as Doctor or Miss.
It's a abbreviation.
Not quite, simply because we use periods after titles, okay? Just as we have one here, Mr. or Doctor. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, let's take a final call for number 12. Good evening, welcome to C Results.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. Who am I speaking with?
Mark Lashley.
Can you repeat that, please?
Mark Lashley.
Okay, nice to have you with us. Are you a first-time caller?
No, called again.
All right, well, nice to have you again with us. Can you help me with number 12?
Okay. You have to have full stop at the end of the sentence.
So after which word there? After the word?
Speech.
Speech, excellent. Thank you for calling. All right, guys, so I'm going to pause on the calls. Let's analyze here. A few weeks ago, my school had a function too. A few weeks ago, it's a dependent clause. So I am going to use a comma after a dependent clause, or a comma is required after a dependent clause, right? Somebody indicated that we use a comma here for nouns in apposition. However, this here is not an example of nouns in apposition, but if we go down lower here to this line, we will see the guest speaker, Mr. Tom Henry. This is an example here of nouns in apposition. And where do we frequently come across this, guys? And I have been saying it so many times. We know it's in report writing, right? So this here is an example of nouns in apposition. We have the noun guest speaker, and then your other noun being the name of a person, Tom Henry, right? So going back to the second line, to honor outstanding students, among them were. We know it's a full stop here at the end of a sentence, right? And simply because this is a sentence, it's stating information, we use a full stop. It's not a question, doesn't require exclamation mark either. Right? Another indication here is that among begins with a capital A, right? So it also tells us that this is the end of a sentence. Among them were Travis Dale and Celine Peters. So a capital P is required for Peters, just as a capital C was required for Celine, right? This is a proper noun, right? Name of a person, therefore it is written with a capital letter. The program included the following cultural items: singing, dancing, and. So again, we use a colon here when we're about to list items, right? So we have a list of items going on. So before that, we are required to use a colon. And instrumentals. The guest speaker, Mr. Tom Henry. So we use a period again after titles such as Mr. or Miss, or simply Doctor, for instance, right? Or Dr., right? Shortened version. Made a heartwarming and inspiring speech. Full stop brings us to the end of a sentence. So that's it for punctuation and capitalization. We are a bit over time today on ALA, but that's fine. We're going to take a short pause, and when we come back, we're going to get started on creative writing. Stay tuned with us, guys. We'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, guys. Welcome back to C Results. So we are now going to get started with creative writing, but just before we do that, I just want to go back to this piece for a moment, right? Going back to number 11, we have Mr. Tom Henry here. Of course, the answer given is correct. I believe it was Aaron who answered or gave the answer here and mentioned that we use periods or full stops after abbreviations, right? Which is correct, right? That slipped my mind for a moment to mention that when I was explaining Mr. or periods used after terms such as these. So Aaron, you were right when you said after abbreviations we use full stops, right? So I just thought I'd mention that, right? I don't want to confuse anyone. So let's move on to creative writing. And for creative writing, this past week we know that you were given a narrative piece to do, right? So what we are going to do, just as we did with report or expository writing, where we looked at a sample piece and we corrected some of the errors that we came across, right? Just so that will help improve your writing, right? So maybe you can learn from those errors, you will be able to identify, what are some of the common mistakes that students make when they are writing. That is what we are going to do in our narrative session today. So here I'm giving you a topic. It's not the same topic that you did over the weekend, right? And because it's narrative style writing and we are custom story writing, I thought I'd do something a bit different, right? I know that a lot of you, you are quite capable with writing a story. Yes, you may need a little bit of advice how to go about certain things, but you are quite familiar with the format of a narrative and how to go about it, right? So let's look at this topic here. Write a story about an adventure you had while on vacation in another country, right? So if you are given such a topic, and the first thing that comes to your mind is that you have never been to another country, right? Now, what are you going to do? Here is a great way, right? And it's so happens that with narrative writing, it's all about using your imagination and being creative, right? So here you are going to become creative and use your imagination. So you haven't been to another country, but yes, you can imagine. Now, what does your adventure have to be about? Your adventure doesn't need to include details about, another country, probably parts of the country, naming it, activities, no, right? And I'm going to show you how you can use the imagination to come up with a story, a very simple way that you could come up with a story that tells about an adventure that takes place in another country, right? So I don't want you to be frightened by this topic, probably because maybe you have never visited another country. And those of you who have, right, you might have a little bit more experience and more to talk about, but it doesn't mean that those of you who haven't, right, you cannot use your imagination, because some of us are very good at that, right? So we are going to read the entire narrative piece, and then we are going to analyze it paragraph by paragraph, right? So maybe if I can get a call, I don't know how well the phone lines are working, but I am going to try. Let's see if someone can probably help us read the entire story or parts of the story. I'm going to get started. Okay, so my eyes beamed open to see the sunlight peeping through the louvers. My mother walked in and exclaimed, "Good morning, honey. I am going for a walk." I was excited to start our vacation in Toronto, Canada, and decided to stay in. I was never enthusiastic like Mom to exercise. When I heard a slam echo through the halls, I knew I was home alone. A few minutes later, I decided to open the louvers. I inhaled the clean air of downtown Toronto as I looked down at all the vehicles on the road. I then looked across to my right and saw an empty apartment building next door. Soon I became curious. I changed my clothes and walked down our hallway with the walls painted bright yellow. I proceeded to put on my new sneakers to go downstairs to the lobby, and I was out the door. The abandoned building was made out of bricks and covered with grass. Many bricks was missing from the wall, leaving dark holes there instead. When I opened the door, a creaking sound was made. I was greeted by a spider's web being stuck to me. The place smelled gross and looked dirty from all the dust around. I began sneezing. All the curtains were closed and the furniture was rotting. I decided to go up the stairs, which were falling apart. As soon as I put my foot on the step, I heard a growling sound upstairs. As soon as I heard the sound again, I stepped back and fall. I stood paralyzed. I finally stood up and took a deep breath in to challenge myself to find what was making that noise. I crept up the stairs, trying not to make a squeak, trying hard to regain balance. I made it up the stairs, only to be attacked by bats shortly after. I began running around before going into the nearest room. With strength, I slammed the door on the bats, hoping to scare them into oblivion. While in the room, the growling got stronger. I turned around to see a dog-like creature with no eyes or nose. It was gray and had no hair. The rows of teeth on it were sharp as razor blades. When I saw the creature, I screamed loud. The split second I stopped screaming, the room became cold and dark. Vines sprawled across the walls. This was an opposite version to the reality of my own world. I was stunned out of my mind when I saw the monster getting ready to jump on me. I grabbed the closest wood plank, which felt like a thin layer of mucus was covering it, so I dropped it. My body trembled as I stared at the creature. Suddenly, it leaped at me, but my body, now frozen, did nothing to stop it. Its claws dug into my body, while it purred like a cat. My body vibrated vigorously. Even though it was the size of a motorcycle, it was as light as a pin. So I picked it up and threw it aside and sprinted for the wooden plank. I grabbed it as the creature ran towards me. As soon as it jumped, I hit it across the face, sending it flying across to the opposite side of the room. When it hit the wall, it turned into smoke, and all the vines and moss began to vanish. I ran out of the room and out of the building. I was relieved. I went to my apartment feeling tired. I was also ecstatic because I was out of the situation. I quickly bandaged all of my wounds before Mom came home. As I laid on my bed, my eyes began to weigh down. Soon enough, I was asleep. Right? So this was quite a mouthful, a little lengthy. Right? And I know as we were reading, those of you paying attention, I am sure that you were able to detect some of the errors already. Right? So that's what we are going to do. We are going to analyze it paragraph by paragraph, starting with this call on the line, and let's see how many errors or what errors we come across, right? What are some of the mistakes that we come across? Hi, good evening. Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Aaron.
Hi, Aaron. So, Aaron, right, before we begin here reading, I want you to tell me, when we are writing a story, what are some of the things we must have in a story?
You must have descriptive language.
Right.
You must have literary devices.
Good.
And transitional words.
All right. What about characters?
Character description.
Sorry?
Character description.
Character description. So we must have characters, or we should have characters. Well, again, depending on the story, but most likely character description, a setting description if necessary, right? Of course, you are also given marks for grammar, punctuation, right? Mechanics, right? Very important, or equally important, as we know how the marks are distributed in our rubric. So, Aidan, right? I want you to read this paragraph for us and, give us some pointers, point out some of the errors that you come across or some ways you can improve on this piece. Just make some general comments on this paragraph for us.
Okay. So, the first error will be an opening quotation mark after the comma in exclamation. Before good.
All right, okay.
And then you'll have the closing quotation mark after the exclamation mark.
Okay. So you're missing quotation marks. What else? Any spelling errors here? Look at the first line and second line.
Well, beam will be spelled wrong.
All right. And what else?
It is B-E-A-M-E-D.
Good.
My eyes beamed open to see the sunlight peeping through the louvers. My mother...
It's okay if you answer in a second one. I'm just asking.
Okay.
All right. Any other details that you would like to include in this paragraph or think the writer should have included or even omitted?
They could have put like more description in the setting.
A little more description in the setting. All right. Thank you so much for your call.
Welcome.
All right. So let's look at this improved piece. My eyes beamed, notice spelling change. Open to see the sunlight peeping through the louvers. Louvers was your second spelling error in this case here, right? Probably you bypassed that. Of my bright blue. Can we just go to the screen, please, guys? Of my bright blue room, right? So here, Aidan asked that we give a little more setting description, and here we're given a bit more description of, well, yes, setting in this case, right? My mother walked in wearing a plain red shirt and track pants, right? So a piece of additional information. She then exclaimed, using quotation marks, "Good morning, honey, I am going for a walk," right? Close quotation. I was excited to start our vacation in Toronto, Canada, and decided to stay in. I was never enthusiastic like Mom to exercise, right? So reflecting on this piece versus the first piece that we read, you are seeing the differences in spelling, maybe in punctuation marks, right? And also descriptive language and use of details. All right, let's move on to the second paragraph here. All right, let's take another call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller. Hi, good evening. All right, we lost that call. So we just want to save some time, so I'm going to go ahead and reread this paragraph, and then we're going to look at the new and improved piece. Great, we have a call on the line. Good evening, welcome to See Results. All right, let's see if we can take another. Good evening, welcome to See. Hi, welcome.
Hello?
Good evening, welcome to the program. Who am I speaking with?
Hi. Good evening, welcome to the program. Ma.
Are you there, caller? Okay. Good evening, welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening. All right, guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and read there. When I heard a slam echo through the walls, I knew I was home alone. Pay attention to how this first paragraph begins. A few minutes later, I decided to open the louvers. I inhaled the clean air of downtown Toronto as I looked down at all the vehicles on the road. I then looked across to my right and saw an empty apartment building next door. Soon I became curious. I changed my clothes and walked down the hallway with the walls painted bright yellow. I proceeded to put on my new sneakers to go downstairs to the lobby, and I was out the door, right? And at this point in time, you should be thinking, you know, how can I improve this piece, right? So all along, you should have been saying, well, I need a comma here, or a word is missing, or details are missing, right? Let's see. When I heard a loud slam echo through the halls, I knew I was home alone, right? So pay attention to how it begins versus the last paragraph that we just read. A few minutes later, right, pay attention to punctuation mark, I decided to open the louvers. All right, so we have that same spelling error going on, so we have the correction of that incorrectly spelled word. I inhaled the clean and crisp air of the downtown Toronto, or of downtown Toronto, as I glanced down at all the vehicles on the road. So we inserted, right, another adjective there. I then looked across to my right and saw an empty apartment building next door. Soon I became curious. I changed my clothes and walked down our wooden floor hallway with the walls painted bright yellow, right? So a piece of description is added here, right? It helps the reader to visualize where you are and how it looks. I proceeded to put on my new sneakers to go downstairs to the lobby, and soon I was out the door. Right, and we have a call on the line. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Am I speaking to Riaz?
No, you're speaking to Mahadi.
Mahadi, I am sorry, Mahadi. So,
It's
Mahadi,
okay.
can you read this paragraph for us?
Pardon me?
Can you read this paragraph for us?
Okay. When I heard a loud slam
Okay,
echo through the halls, I
Mahadi?
knew I was home alone. A few minutes later, I
Mahadi?
decided to open the louvers. I inhaled the clean and crisp air of downtown Toronto as I glanced down at all the vehicles on the road. I then looked across to my right and saw an empty apartment building next door. Soon I became curious. I changed my clothes and walked down our wooden floor hallway while the walls painted bright yellow. I proceeded to put on my new sneakers to go downstairs to the lobby, and soon, hello?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me, Mahadi?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, I was trying to stop you there because we already read that paragraph, but I didn't realize you can't see, or couldn't see this other paragraph on your screen. I said, can you see it now, the one with the abandoned building?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so this is the one I'd like you to read for us and then comment on it, okay?
Okay, Miss.
All right, go ahead.
The abandoned building was made out of bricks and covered with grass. Many bricks was missing from the wall, leaving dark holes there instead. When I opened the door, a creaking sound was made. I was greeted by a spider's web being stuck to me. The place smelled gross and looked dirty from all the dust around. I began sneezing. All the curtains were closed and the furniture was rotting. I decided to go up the stairs, which were falling apart. Miss, you could zoom up on it.
Sure, just give it a second. Are you seeing as soon as? Can you see that line? As soon as?
As soon as I put my foot on the steps, I heard a growling sound upstairs.
All right, so Mahadi, tell us, right? What are your comments about this paragraph?
The comment is that it has too many full stops, too many short sentences.
All right, okay, good. So we can probably vary our sentences a bit. That's a nice observation, right? What else? What about my many bricks was missing? That second line there.
Many bricks were missing.
Right.
It's supposed to use the plural, were, because it's more than one bricks.
Good. Anything else we could have added here?
Some of the figurative language.
Excellent. All right, so thank you for calling and giving us your comments. I'm going to share with you guys the improved paragraph, right, and taking into consideration all of those comments that Mahadi gave us. Right, so the abandoned building was made out of red bricks and covered with vines. And can we just go to the screen, please? Many bricks were missing from the wall, leaving dark holes there instead. When I opened the door, an eerie creaking sound was made. I was greeted by a spider's web being stuck to me. The place smelled like a dumpster and looked gray from all the dust around. I began sneezing like a madman until I covered my nose. All the curtains were closed and the furniture was rotting. I decided to go up the stairs, which were falling apart. As soon as I put my foot on the step, I heard a low growling sound upstairs. Right, so I wanted to pay attention to the insertion of literary devices such as similes, right, throughout this piece. Also, those phrases that we inserted, right, giving us additional information and description, of course. And of course, following here our rules of subject-verb agreement, so the grammatical errors, any punctuation errors we may have come across, right? Again, varying our sentences. So we did look at those short sentences, as Mahadi said, right? Expanded on a couple of those, just as you are seeing here, and use figurative language. So I do hope that you guys are taking notes, right, on ways to improve your paragraph, right? So let's go ahead and read this paragraph again. Let's take a call. Good evening. Welcome to C Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Hello?
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Mark.
Hi, Mark. Can you read this paragraph for us?
Okay. As soon as I heard the sound again, I stepped back and fall. I stood paralyzed. I finally stood up and took a deep breath in to challenge myself to find what was making that noise. I crept up the stairs, trying not to make a squeak, trying hard to regain balance. I made it up to the stairs, only to be attacked by bats shortly after. I began running around before going into the nearest room. With strength, I slammed the door on the bats, hoping to scare them into oblivion. While in the room, the growling got stronger. I turned around to see a dog-like creature with no eyes or nose. It was gray and had no hair. The rows of teeth on it were sharp and as razor blades.
Great. So share some comments with us about this paragraph. What did you notice?
Could you repeat that?
Can you share some comments about this paragraph with us?
It could use some more, it could go and use some more, more creativity.
Yeah, some creativity by using what? Descriptive language, perhaps?
Yeah.
You're right. So maybe to tell us a little bit more about that creature, right?
The towering creature grew on me. Its red eyes pierced through my soul.
Right. Excellent. Anything else here you'd like to add?
The spelling errors.
Okay.
Razor blades.
Razor blades. What is wrong with that?
The razor is supposed to be R-A-Z-O-R.
Great. And let me draw your attention to the first sentence there. Right? I step back and fall. Is that correct? Grammatically correct?
No, fold.
Can you repeat?
What?
Can you
Fell.
repeat?
And fell.
Fell, right. I know that's what you wanted to say. Right? Fell. So that's good, right? Great observation. Good comments about it. Anything else you'd like to add before you go?
No, I don't think anything else.
All right. Thank you so much. You did a fantastic job.
Okay.
All right, guys. So let's look at our improved piece. As soon as I heard the sound again, I stumbled back and fell. I stood paralyzed, which seemed like an eternity as my body quivered. I finally stood up and took a deep breath to challenge myself to find what was making that noise. I slowly crept up the stairs, trying not to make a squeak. Struggling to regain balance, I made it up the stairs, only to be attacked by bats shortly after. I began running around before going into the nearest room. With great strength, I slammed the door on the colony of bats, hoping to scare them into oblivion. While in the room, the growling intensified. I turned around to see a dog-like creature with no eyes or nose. It was gray and had no hair, and its mouth was like a flower bud opening and closing. The rows of teeth on it were sharp as razor blades. Right, so let's look at some of the corrections here. Right, so of course we have that change in grammatical structure. Right, also notice before we had two full stops after paralyzed. Right, so we changed that, extended the sentence. Right, also, yes, we did insert some descriptive words to help us. Also, we included adverbs. Right, so I slowly crept rather than I just crept. Right, again, attacked by bats shortly after I began running around before going into the nearest room. Right, so this sentence here, with great strength, I slammed the door on a colony of bats. Right, so instead of just saying bats, here we use that collective noun, colony of bats, hoping to scare them into oblivion. Right, and again, the growling intensified. Instead of only saying, well, it grew stronger and stronger, here's another word you can use. And again, just as our last caller indicated, you could have added a little more description about the character. So yes, you can mention about all those that we learned about. So the eyes, ears, nose, mouth. Of course, you don't have to make it too lengthy, but you should give us enough details, right, so that we can actually visualize or get a depiction of how this character looks. Right, so we just have a couple more paragraphs, but before we do this, we have to take a break. It's time for Maghrib. When we come back, we're going to continue with this, guys. Stay tuned with us. Assalamu alaikum, good evening guys. Welcome back to C Results. So you're just rejoining me for creative writing, and yes, we are focusing on narrative style writing today, right? And we started off with an exercise as we usually do, looking at a narrative submission and then of course analyzing it very closely. So we're looking at what you should not do basically, and then what you should do, right? So we're going to ask and welcome other callers to join us, help us read again this paragraph and the paragraphs that follow until we come to the end of the essay, of course, right? And then remember, we are focusing on what we are paying attention to. We are looking at, you know, the errors that are frequently made by students. So far we came across commas or punctuation marks rather, right? Also, before I go on, I just want to ask that the numbers we put on the screen so we can probably welcome some callers in the meantime, right? So again, we are drawing our attention to the use of punctuation marks, capital letters, descriptive language, transitional words, of course, paying attention to the grammatical structure, just simply the structure of your sentences, varying sentence types. All of those are things that we came across already, right, or that we can improve on. So let's take a call. Good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with? Are you there, caller?
My name is Joshua Barrow.
Hi, Joshua. How are you?
Good.
Okay, we didn't hear from you in a little while, right? But it's good to have you back with us. So, Joshua, can you read this paragraph for us?
When I saw the creature, I screamed loud. That's supposed to be loudly.
Loudly, good. Go ahead.
The split second I stopped screaming, the room became cold and dark. Vines sprawled across the walls. This was an opposite version to the reality of my own world. I was stunned out of my mind when I saw the monster getting ready to jump on me. I grabbed the closest wood plank, which felt like a thin layer of mucus, which was.
So you hear mucus was covering it.
Go
on, so I.
Coughing it. So I dropped it. And my body trembled as I stared at the creature. Suddenly it leaped at me, but my body frozen did. But my body now froze. Not frozen, froze.
Okay.
And did nothing to stop it.
All right, continue.
Its claws dug into my body while it purred like a cat. My body vibrated vigorously.
Excellent. So what are some of your comments that you'd like to share with us here about this paragraph?
When I saw the creature scream loudly, the loud supposed to be an adverb.
Very good. So change that to an adverb.
And the starting of the second paragraph, it leaped at me, but my body now froze it. That's supposed to be there, but my body now froze and did nothing to stop it.
Well, actually, frozen, they certainly it leaped at me, but my body now frozen, right? So they're saying that it already happened. You understand?
Yeah.
Right? So, but I want you to pay attention to the spelling here. Leaped. Is this spelled correctly?
Oh, yes, no. Leaped supposed to spell L-E-A-P-I-D.
All right, try that again.
L-E-A-P-E-D.
All right, good.
Sorry.
Good. Anything else? What about its claws dug into my body?
Its claws dug into my body.
IT apostrophe S here is short for
what? Yes. What?
What is it short for?
Oh yeah, it's claws.
Right.
And sorry, miss?
So IT apostrophe S, just as it's stated here, is a contraction for it is. Right?
Yes.
So is this correct? It is clause?
No.
Or should it just be? Right. So ITS, right? Showing possession there. It's clause. Good. Anything else that you'd like to add here?
Nothing, but miss, we could go back to the paragraph the day before. It had a mistake there.
Which one is that?
The paragraph before. It had a double negative.
Where is that? Let's read. Okay, can you see the paragraph now?
Yes.
All right, read the line to me.
I turned around to see a dog-like creature with no eyes. Oh, shucks, sorry.
You probably misread it at first, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. That's okay, right? But anything else here with this paragraph?
Oh, no eyes. Oh, no. Nah.
All right, Joshua. Thank you so much for calling and giving us your input here. All right,
Okay.
we do appreciate it. So let's look at our improved version. When I saw the creature, I screamed so loud, I was sure people in China could have heard me, right? So a little bit of exaggeration going on here. So yes, you could have used I screamed loudly, that's fine, but if you wanted to expand on that a little bit, right, you can use that, or use this, for example. The split second I stopped screaming, the room became cold and dark. Vines sprawled across the walls. Each vine crawled across, clinging to the dusty tiled walls, latching onto even the moss. Right, so a little further description as to what is taking place or how that setting is. This was an opposite version of the reality of my own world. I was stunned out of my mind when I saw the monster getting ready to pounce on me. So rather just saying jump, you can use a synonym, pounce, right? A little stronger word there. I grabbed the closest wood plank, which felt like a thin layer of mucus was covering it. So I dropped it. My body trembled in fear as I stared at the creature. Suddenly it leaped, spelling change, at me, but my body, now frozen, did nothing to stop it. Its claws, that changed, its claws dug into my body while it purred like a cat. So good use of simile here. My body vibrated vigorously, right? So far throughout this piece, we can say that the writer has a good grip on the use of similes, right? So let's move on to this paragraph. So we're approaching the end here. Good evening. Welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Jaden.
Hi, Jaden. How are you?
Good, man.
Okay, Jaden. Read this paragraph for us and share your thoughts.
Even though it was the size of a motorcycle, it was as light as a pin. So I picked it up and threw. Wish I could zoom in a little, please.
Sure. Just give it a couple seconds, you'll see it.
Right. So I picked it up and threw it aside and sprinted from the wooden plank. I grabbed it as the creature ran towards me. As soon as it jumped, I hit it across the face, sending it flying across to the opposite side of the room. When it hit the wall, it turned into smoke, and all the vines and moss began to vanish.
Okay, great. So share some of your comments with us.
I do find the first sentence realistic.
Okay, why is that? Okay, well, I understand what you are saying there, even though it was the size of a motorcycle. What do you think it should have been said then?
Mr. Could I speak about something that is lighter because a motorcycle is heavy?
Okay, I understand that. Okay, I understand what you mean. But look at the sentence, right? Even though it was the size of a motorcycle, not necessarily meaning it is a motorcycle, right? But just look at the size of it. So he's thinking that, you know, because it's this size, he's thinking that it was going to be heavy. It was actually as light as a pin in this case. You understand? But I do understand what you are also saying, right? Probably a little more realistic comparison there. But that's fine.
Yes, fine.
All right, good. What else?
Monsieur, it's changing true to true.
Okay, good. Anything else there?
No, miss.
All right. Well, thank you again for calling.
Miss,
Yes.
miss is still reading my essay.
I need you to tell us what is your last name of A, okay? Because I'm not sure what is your last name. So somebody will take your last name off here, and I will let you know if I have your essay. But once you submit it, I will read it on Thursday for sure. Just give the person your last name for me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. All right, and I know he's really looking forward to that, and I will do that for you. And as we are on the topic of essays, I know that we were supposed to read some of the submissions today as we usually do. And guys, trust me, that was the intention, but I do believe that this exercise was very important. So I didn't know it was going to take this amount of time. So we're a bit out of time for today, but don't worry, on Thursday, I am going to read lots and lots of essays, right? So don't worry, those of you requesting for us to read your pieces, look out for it on Thursday for sure, right? So let's go back to this improved piece now. Even though it was the size of a motorcycle, it was light as a feather. Feather, pin, same thing basically, right? We're just accustomed with this comparison. So I picked it up and threw it aside and sprinted for the wooden plank, right? I grabbed it as the creature ran towards me. As soon as it jumped, right, so replacing, I do believe, good. So here we are. I smacked it across the face, sending it flying across to the opposite side of the room. So we replaced the word hit with smacked, right? And because we have the word hit again, right, somewhere along the lines, we don't want to repeat the same words over and over. We know that there are so many synonyms and antonyms that you can use to replace words. So please practice using that, improving your vocabulary, expanding on your vocabulary, replacing boring words with words that are interesting, right, or will bring life to your story. Flying across to the opposite side of the room. When it hit the wall, it turned into smoke, and all the vines and moss began to vanish. Right, and we are finally to the end here. And do we have a caller on the line? I'm going to hold on a couple of seconds. Let's see if we have one more. Good evening. Welcome to Series Results. I'm going to hold on a couple of seconds. Good evening, caller. All right, so I'm going to go ahead here. I ran out of the room and out of the building. I was relieved. I went to my apartment feeling tired. I was also ecstatic because I was out of the situation. I quickly bandaged all of my wounds before Mom came home. As I laid on my bed, my eyes began to weigh down. Soon enough, I was asleep. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read this improved piece as we are very close and almost out of time. All right, so I darted out of the room and out of the building. Pay attention to the spelling of off rather than O-double-F. Right, and instead of using that boring word ran, right, we just changed it, we used darted. A tsunami of relief hit me when I made it out. Look at that expression, right? I went to my apartment feeling extremely tired. I was also ecstatic because I was out of the situation. It's very important when you're writing a story that you use or show emotion throughout your writing, right? That's a point to note. I quickly bandaged all of my wounds before Mom came home. As I lay, rather than laid, as I lay on my bed, my eyes began to weigh down. Soon enough, I was asleep. Right, so that's the end of the exercise for today, guys. I do hope that this was beneficial, and I do hope that you take away a point or two from this, right? Reflect on your own pieces, the pieces you may have submitted over the weekend, right? Look at some ways that you can improve upon that using all the comments that our callers and that I gave throughout reading this piece, right? That's really going to improve the quality of your work. And of course, going to bring you closer to the 20 marks in your writing. That is essentially what you want. Right, before I go, I must mention about the creative writing. Right, I know some of you anxiously awaiting your marks. Don't worry, you will get that before Thursday or by Thursday for the latest. It has been a crazy week, right? But you will get that. And on Thursday, I will read lots and lots of submissions, so don't worry. And also look out for that, guys. Don't forget to complete your quizzes on the Edmodo class. The class code is there to the bottom of the screen. If you aren't already a member, ensure that you join now, become a member, and practice, you know, on all the lessons that we have been given throughout the past weeks, right? And of course, you can go to our YouTube channel and review or rewatch any video of your choice. Similarly, on our Facebook page, right? Use that as a learning resource. And guys, trust me, it's really going to help you, you know, any area of weakness you may be struggling with or probably having difficulty remembering, need a refresher. SC exam is right around the corner and you need loads and loads of revision, right? So we'll be back on Thursday with mathematics and creative writing. I do hope you have a wonderful evening. Be safe, guys. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening.